for your convenience, and once the session is done, we'll share the recording with you, sir. Thanks, Abhiram.
Yeah.
So I'll record this now.
Yeah.
This meeting.
So I quickly zoom in the camera onto this touch panel, sir.
So just to start with, sir, the device, basically the device that you have is Cisco Webex Kit Plus, which is installed in all the locations, and some locations we have old SX20 endpoint. So this device actually includes some components. So one is the codec. So that's basically the masterpiece where you have all the video inputs and outputs connected. Apart from that, there is a touch panel in the kit series which is a single point of interface to make calls, receive calls, to do some basic configuration and all those things. Apart from them, there is a mic that is on the table, so we can connect up to 3 microphones with the Cisco Webex Kit Plus, and we can connect up to 2 displays. So displays are third-party displays. It could be Samsung, LG, any good quality display, and they are connected over an HDMI cable. Then we have a HDMI cable that is connected to the laptop. So in case there is some presentation that is to be shared, that can be connected over an HDMI cable, and using the touch panel, we can start the presentation. So initially, what we'll do is we'll brief you the interfaces that are there in the touch panel, where what has to be done where, and if you face some issues while in the quality, where you can check that there is a packet loss or jitter in the network. So Abhiram, over to you.
Yeah. So to start with, whenever you come into the conference room, and first thing is that you'd like to have a look at your camera. How is it positioned? How is it tracked? And also to quickly have a look at the camera, you have an option called this camera button. You need to select this button, and then you have an option to maximize your selfie. You need to turn on your selfie. So when you turn this button on and maximize it, so the selfie will be maximized here this way. And when you minimize it, it gets minimized like this on the display. So this is how you can track it. And
so just before the meeting, when the meeting is planned, what you can do is, because you have a PTZ camera, so you can turn on the self view, you can maximize the view, and you can adjust the camera as per your requirement. So so for example, if the chairperson is sitting in the center of the table, so you can focus that, you can adjust the camera. So adding on to that, you can have presets. So for example, you want to preset that, okay, a chairperson sits on a particular seat, you can make a preset for it. So every time you need not to move the camera left, right, up, down, or zoom in, zoom out. You can have another preset to configure right side of the table or left side of the table if there are some other people who are sitting along with the chairperson. So that can be focused by just click of a button. You need not have to adjust the camera every time.
So you can add your presets here, sir. So you simply need to select this add new button and position your camera and save it. So like, for example, now I'm tracking this, I'm navigating the camera. If you see down, so camera moves down a little, move up, move down, left, right, and then you can zoom in, you can zoom out. So this is how you can do. And when you have come to an optimal position, you can save that preset. So this is a full room view, and if you want to save this, you can select add new, and you can name it full room view. Full room, and then save. So what happens if the camera's position is changed? See, it is zoomed in, and with the click of this button with this preset, so the camera will come to its normal position.
So first you have to
position.
Bring the camera to the position where you want to save it, and then click on the add button, and then give it a name and save it. So you can have up to 30 presets which can be configured on a single device. So it can be a single camera or it can be multiple cameras also wherever they are installed. So the preset will work with up to 2 cameras.
Yeah. So this is about navigating the camera and zooming in, zooming out, and then next comes is calling. So when you want to make a call, you have option here, call. So select this, and you can dial your number. You can enter the CPURI number and then make a call. So this is how you will make a call. And then if you want to share a screen, you have this option to share your screen. You and then so when you go on to this settings, you can see what software version this device is on. You can get to know about the device. So when you select this about this device button, you have these options like what is the device name, what is the IP address of the device, MAC address, serial number, and what is the software version loaded on this system. So all this information you will get to know.
So, sir,
So
in case, so first thing is that your device should be connected to the NTP server. So NTP is a network time protocol, where from where the device fetches a correct time automatically. So whenever, so if your time is not synced, so you may face challenges while making calls or taking logs from the device. For example, Abhiram, can you click on the cross tab. Yeah. So on the top right hand side, you see the current time. Just ensure that the time is correct. You'll not face any issue in calling or receiving calls or content sharing. But maybe later when there is some troubleshooting has to be done, then the admin team may face challenges. So just ensure that the time is correct. If not, you can reach out to your administrator and they will help you do the time settings. Now on the about the device tab, so that's basically the main setting that gives you the brief about your device. So, for example, if I go to the settings tab, the first tab is about this device. If you click on about this device, it gives you the information on what the device is. So the first is the device type. So that is, in this case, it's a Cisco WebEx Room 55. In your case, it would be either SX20 or Cisco WebEx Kit Plus or whatever. Then the video address. So address is basically SIP URL, which actually denotes it's a specific to your device. So there may be about 200, 300 devices in the railways network. So this SIP URL gives you that this is your address. So anybody who dials this SIP URL, they can reach out to you, just like a phone number. Then the IP address of the device. In your scenario, it's a static IP address. So everybody is given a static IP address so that the Realtel team or the admin team, they can have access to your device. And the IP address, if somebody wants to troubleshoot your device, you can just tell him this is the IP address, and they can log in remotely and connect to your device to make the configuration changes. So Wi-Fi address and MAC address, these are all just MAC IDs in case you have network security settings where only specific MAC IDs can be connected. So you can share this MAC ID with your admin team, and they can bypass the access for this particular device. The serial number is basically in case you face some issues and you want to get a replacement from Cisco. So you need to check this serial number and share with your admin team. They will register a case, and they can get the replacement of whatever issues. Now, SIP proxy is basically a SIP server address. So SIP server in your case is installed in Hyderabad and in Gurgaon, in Secunderabad and in Gurgaon. So there are two SIP servers at the back end. So this if you see there's an IP address there, 72.x.x.x, and in bracket it says registered. So whenever you're trying to make a call from your device, just ensure that the device is registered to the SIP server. Otherwise, you may face challenges in connecting and receiving the calls. So in some cases, when your device network is down or it's maybe some other network issue is there, so this will say unregistered. So unregistered means your link from this particular video conferencing device to the server in Secunderabad or in Gurgaon is not reachable. Maybe it could be some network issue or it could be any other issue. So if that is it shows unregistered, just speak to your admin, and they will advise you the best possible way how you can resolve this issue. If it's unregistered, so you will not be able to make or receive calls. Then the further is installed version. So in this case, it says Room OS 10.17.1.1, but this is a cloud registered device. So cloud means it's registered to the web cloud. But in your scenario, the devices are registered to the server in which is in Secunderabad or Gurgaon. So in your case, the installed version, the latest version that is supported is that is available is latest
This
software version.
meeting is being recorded.
Now go back, Abhiram. Just click on that. Yeah. Again, we are going back to the settings
Is
tab.
this
Yeah,
clear, Ranjit? Is this clear, or you want me to connect from the system?
clear, clear.
Clear, right? Yeah.
So this was about the device. So just ensure that your device is connected and you are able to make and receive calls. Now, the second is the issues and diagnostics. So the couple of do's and don'ts which are there. So for example, while before your call is starting, just ensure that there is no issues in the device. So in this case, you just need to go to the issues and diagnostics.
This
Fine.
meeting is
So
being recorded.
I'll give you some of the examples. So if your device is not connected to the server, it will say your device is unregistered or the SIP configuration is there's a mismatch in the SIP configuration. If there is some mic overload, mic is not properly connected, it will give you mic overload error that is there. So there are a couple of errors which will be highlighted, and you will see the number of issues here. Just ensure that there are minimal issues or no issues. Actually, it should be no issues which should be there in this tab. And if you still find any issues here, just reach out to the admin team. They will take the remote access and they will help you with the analysis. Now, if you want to test the speakers and the microphones, just click on the sound check. So in diagnostics, so diagnostics is basically if you want to test the speakers or the anything which is there in this device. So for example, if you click on the speaker check, sound check, your speakers or the display that will give you a tune, and then it will show that okay, loud speakers are working correctly. So you can do a sound check also. Now, on the microphone check, basically how many microphones are connected, it will show that. Aviram, just click on the microphone check. So if there are more than two microphones are connected. So right in this device, there are three microphones. One is internal and two are external. So you can see there is an audio feed coming in all three microphones. That means all three microphones which are there in this device are working properly. So there's no overload. So if there is any overload, so you will actually see a red this color of the graph or the line. It turns red. So just ensure that it should not be basically a not the button, Viram. So these lines, the blue lines which are there in front of internal one, external two, and external three. So that will go red. So that means there is some issue with the microphone, or maybe some issue with the there is some additional noise that is coming in from a particular mic. So Abhiram, just if you just hit one of the microphones, just hit one of the microphones. We can see if Aviram is hitting one of the microphone, the external microphone 3 is actually the sound capture from the external microphone 3 is moving towards high. That means there is more audio coming in from the microphone 3. So this way you can actually check that if all the microphones are and they are working fine. Go back, Aviram. Then I think these are the I think the major features which are supported in your. So you can test on the issues. The first part is the test on the issues. Check your devices registered to the cloud properly. Check your sound, check your speakers, check your microphones. Just that we can do a try run just before connecting to a meeting. Then go back, Aviram. And okay, go back, Aviram. Yeah. Now, Aviram, now you can see there is one issue there. So just click on that. So we just got it during this. So that means there's a microphone overload because Aviram was hitting the microphone. So it says that microphone overload. So it could be an intermediate thing that would be coming up. So you can ignore this for some time. But if it comes regularly, so you need to reach out to your administrator or the support team and they will help you rectify this. Sometimes it could be a microphone cable issue as well. So when there's a cable issue, then also the microphone overload comes in. So and if this error will go away automatically if it's not much of your much of the concern, but if it is frequent, if this error is coming frequently, reach out to your administrator. Now, Aviram, can you just make a call to any of the IDs so that we can show the call statistics as well?
Is this clear, Anjit?
Yeah,
This
Aviram.
is what an clear.
Yeah, Aviram, this is clear. Now you just go to the settings.
Connection.
Give me a second. Okay. Now go back. Go back. There's a tab called call information. Yeah. Go to the settings tab. No. Click on the BGL 11 Neptune. Go to the settings tab. Settings. Yeah. Issues and diagnostics. Issues and diagnostics. Yeah. There will be a call information tab. So, team, when the call is connected, you are connected to a call. In the issues and diagnostics tab, you will see call information tab as well. So, call information is basically at what bandwidth your call is connected to the bridge or to an MCU. So, and it will give you the statistics if there is a packet loss which you are experiencing. For example, Apiram, I'm not able to read properly. So this call is connected at H.264. So H.264 is one of the protocol. Yeah. Yes. So this is a bit clear. So H.264 is a protocol and it says about 4,000 something kbps, which is there. And we can see that there's a packet loss of 0.2%. Right, Abhiram? And the jitter is about 68 millisecond. So
Yes.
0.2 and 68 millisecond, that is a bearable range. So you'll not face much of the video quality issues. But if the packet load exceeds 1 or 2%, then you may face distortion in the video, or sometimes the presentation will not work depending on what depending on the network quality, or some of the other thing may not work properly. So there are two tabs. One is the incoming video, and the other one is the transmit. So one is the transmit video, and other one is the receive. So transmit is basically what video is getting transmitted from your side to the MCU, and the receive is basically what you're receiving from the MCU or from the other side. So just check that it maybe there may be a difference that your video quality is not being properly sent to the other side. So you will see those packet drops in the transmit column. And if you are not able to receive the video proper video quality, you may see some packet drops or some jitters in the received part of it. So just ensure that you have minimal less than 1% of packet loss and less than 100 millisecond of jitter in this tab. Otherwise, you may face some issue, some of the other issue. Now, if the presentation is shared, you can see that the second tab shows transmit presentation and the receive presentation. So if you are sending a presentation, you will see the same statistics of the what data is being at what resolution, or at what resolution your the presentation is being shared from your side or you are receiving it from the other side. And there also you the packet loss and the jitter has to be minimal. So in case you see that there is a packet loss, just reach out to your network team and they will guide you how to proceed further. So just so these are the steps you need to follow. The first thing is you go to issues and diagnostics tabs, see if your device is registered. Second, test your microphones, test your speakers, everything is working fine. While you are connected to the call, once you initiate a call, just see go to the call information tab and it will actually show you, give you the statistics. It ensure that the packet loss into both transmit and receive is less than 1%. It should be actually zero or 0 to 0.1, and that is the best thing. Otherwise, if you are facing a challenge more than 1% or more than 2%, then reach out to your administrator team. And the jitter should be less than 100 milliseconds. This is the best parameters to get a good quality of video. Now back, Abhiram. So on the touch panel, you also have a mute button, and there is a mute button on the microphone as well. So once you click on the mute button on the touch panel, you will actually all the microphones get muted. So for example, if you have a third party microphone also connected, so both microphone and the touch panel mute button are in sync. So if you unmute from the microphone, the touch panel green button will also go green. If you mute it from the microphone, the touch panel will again be synced. However, if you have any third-party microphones in the room, maybe there are goose microphones or something else, so that may work differently. So you need to work with your local team as how the third-party microphones are connected or how they can be muted and unmuted. So that would be a different way. But if you are using Cisco microphones only, which are connected directly to the video conferencing codec, so this is how the mute functionality works. Now on the volume tab, we also have a volume up down button on the touch panel. So there's a volume up, volume down. So you can see on the touch panel itself or on the display as well, the video conferencing display that the volume is getting increased and or is low. So just ensure that your TV volume as well as this are optimally configured to get a good quality audio from the other side. Now, to share a presentation on the touch panel, when the call is connected, on the leftmost tab is stop video button is there. So there's a camera there, and it says stop video. Stop video means if you click on the stop video, your video will be sent to the far end side or to the MC or to the meeting. So right now, if now Abhiram has clicked on stop video, now we can see that there is no video coming from the Neptune room. So you can start and stop the video as per your convenience, as per your chairperson's guidance. Now to share content, there's a second tab which says share. So if you have an HDMI cable connected to your VC device, so there may be HDMI, it would be connected over HDMI 1 or HDMI 2. So accordingly, those particular tab will get highlighted. If it's connected on HDMI 1, so HDMI 1 will get highlighted and you will see share content option coming in, a green button with share content option coming in. So you just click on the share button and your laptop or PC or whatever is connected to this HDMI port will get shared. Now, if you're talking about the Cisco cable, Cisco presentation cable, so Cisco presentation cable is green color. It comes in with 8 meters length. That is supplied by default with each and every video conferencing codec. So it basically has two ends. One is both sides are HDMI. One side shows just the logo of an HDMI, and other side has a Cisco logo. So this just ensure that the HDMI connector with the Cisco logo is connected to the PC. It's actually is a one-way cable. It doesn't work the other way around. Just ensure that the connector which has a Cisco logo there should be inserted on the PC side. So Abhiram, can you just show the Cisco logo on the cable? No, we can just place it on the touch panel itself. We are able to see it. Yes. So there's a Cisco logo on this side written on the connectors. Just ensure that the connector that you are inserting it onto your PC or laptop, it has a Cisco logo there. Other side will not have a Cisco logo, which is connected on the codec. So this is brief about the do's and don'ts while starting the meeting. Just ensure that everything is working fine and you are able to share content just before the meeting, receive content just before the meeting. Obviously, the RailTel team, they do these checks with all your participants, but just ensure that you also do at your end. Now, moving back, Abhiram, what's the next? You're muted.
I'll show you the connectivity diagram. And let me quickly share my screen. So team, do you have any questions? Any doubts you have?
Why not? May I raise my doubts or clarification, something like that? I am KP area CCE SCCR. Hello. Good.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. You can raise your doubts.
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is one problem which might be there at every location. See, we have your Cisco, this VC conference through TPAS, RailTel TPAS. Okay. But there is no connectivity port for our PS system. PS system means there is local PS system in the conference hall, round table conference. Okay. The round table, there are so many desk type this thing, PS system. So many, means maybe 40 around, 40, 50. Okay. Those are run by one PS PA amplifier. And that amplifier had to be got connected to your Cisco system, TPAS system, so that all the persons available there, participating there, okay, their voices should be heard at the other side. But it is not there. You have only one or two microphones, your special microphones. So those don't cover the whole conference hall room. And suppose there are 20 participants, okay, they can have access to our PS system, public address system, you can say whatever that, at their table itself. But your system doesn't pick up either through the loudspeakers or through any cable. There is no cable connection for there. Specifically, I would like to say that you don't have any audio in jack or auxiliary in jack. Our PA amplifier gives audio or auxiliary output thing, and your TPAS equipment should have auxiliary in, but it is not there. You have only microphone ins, TPAS equipments or TPAS. There is no audio in feature, audio or auxiliary in.
Right, sir.
Okay.
So I'll give you an input on this, sir. So we do have the audio input. So the microphones input. So there are three.
Not microphone. It is PA amplifier output should be connected to your TPAS input.
Right, sir. I'm coming on to that, sir. I'm coming on. So it does support that, sir. We have multiple customers who have PA system connected to the Cisco WebEx Kit Plus. The same microphone port can be used with their
No, it can't be used. Whenever it is used, the sound gets distorted at the other side.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
It is not मतलब कि we have हम लोग थक चुके हैं ये सब कर करके.
Right.
मतलब कि लगाया लोगों ने और फिर मतलब कि वापस ले गए और फिर मतलब कि उधर से कंप्लेन आया यूजर से कि डिस्टॉर्टेड आता है.
Yes, sir. सर मैं आपको ब्रीफ कर रहा हूँ सर. एक होता है सर PA system. PA system is recommended for local reinforcement. मतलब आपका आवाज जो है आप माइक्रोफोन से बोल रहे हैं, अगर आपका वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग नहीं चल रहा तो आपका आवाज खुद के स्पीकर्स में ऊपर जो आपके स्पीकर्स
उसी सिस्टम को मैं चाहता हूं कि आपके पास इक्विपमेंट में मतलब इन हो जाए इलेक्ट्रिकली, बट इट इज नॉट देयर।
सर आई एम कमिंग टू दैट सर। सो एक सर स्टैंडर्ड पीए सिस्टम होता है जो हमारे लोकल रेनफोर्समेंट के लिए यूज होता है। There is a PA system with a mixer, DSP. DSP is a digital signal processor which is used for video conferencing. So अगर आप स्टैंडर्ड पीए सिस्टम की बात करें, पीए सिस्टम के साथ जैसे ही आप वीडियो सिस्टम में कनेक्ट करेंगे, उसमें अंदर इको आएगा, वॉइस डिस्टॉर्शन आएगा। उसके साथ पीए सिस्टम के साथ एक डीएसपी लगता है which is from different makes like Biamp or Nexia, or there are other manufacturers who does। उसके अंदर क्या होता है?
डीएसपी वगैरह को छोड़िए, actually see what is required, you don't have a auxiliary input port, okay, or jack, and we do have auxiliary out jack. So there you have see maybe you have mic input jack, okay,
सर माइक
so
इनपुट के अंदर ही
mic input jack, mic jack
माइक जैक के अंदर ही आप ऑक्सिलरी लगा सकते हैं सर। इट इज सपोर्टेड।
नहीं लगा सकते, मैंने कितना बार लगा करके देखा है, ठीक है।
सर, excuse me, sir.
डिस्टॉर्शन आता है।
सर यू कैन रीच आउट
Sir,
टू
sir,
रेलटेल टीम, दे कैन एडवाइज यू ऑन दैट।
ACCR में सर एक्सक्यूज मी सर, ACCR में हम लोग डीएसपी के थ्रू ही कर रहे हैं सर, लेकिन फिर भी सक्सेस नहीं हो पा रहे हैं।
सर तो यू रीच टू योर सर आप
डीएसपी लगा हुआ है हमारे पास में, नेक्सिया का ही डीएसपी है।
सर वो कॉन्फ़िगरेशन होता है सर उसके अंदर। इट इज 100% सपोर्टेड इन आवर डिवाइसेस। देयर आर मेनी कस्टमर्स हु आर यूजिंग इट। प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफिस
रेलटेल के लोग, see we are taking service from रेलटेल and रेलटेल people have come stayed there।
वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग सिस्टम है सर, उसमें वही उसी का आउटपुट सपोर्ट करता है सर, बट इसमें सिस्को वाले आपका टी पास इक्विपमेंट में लगाते हैं तो मतलब क्रैकिंग साउंड के साथ में वो आता है सर।
तो आप चेक कर लीजिए सर, आप जो आपका लोकल वेंडर है जिसने डीएसपी लगाया है, इट इज 100% सपोर्टेड सर। आई थिंक एमआर का जो कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम है उसके अंदर ही लगा हुआ है एक थर्ड पार्टी माइक्रोफोन
प्रदीप आप फिर से बोलिए, आपके पास दूसरा सिस्टम है, लोकल सिस्टम है हमारा एसीसीआर का, उसमें एक कनेक्टिविटी हो जाती है।
सर मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ सर,
वही बता रहे हो क्या प्रदीप?
हाँ जी सुनिए सर, मैं आपको वही बता रहा हूँ। अगर आपका नॉर्मल पीए सिस्टम है, पीए सिस्टम वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के लिए नहीं सूटेबल होता, उसके अंदर आपको इको डिस्टॉर्शन सब आएगा। इफ यू हैव अ डीएसपी, जैसे सर बोल रहे हैं एसीसीआर से, सो उनके पास नेक्सिया का डीएसपी है, तो डीएसपी के साथ वी कैन डेफिनेटली इंटीग्रेट। अगर वो नहीं हो रहा है, सो यू रीच आउट टू योर लोकल
डीएसपी इज डिफरेंट थिंग। डीएसपी इज डिजिटल सिग्नल प्रोसेसर।
Yes,
we
sir.
want we want that you do have only mic input port, no audio auxiliary input port.
सर माइक
So,
इनपुट पोर्ट के लिए
if your mic, so it can accept only mics, it cannot accept the output of the amplifier.
सर
Output of the amplifier has a different level and different this thing,
सर एक होता है सर
different
माइक्रोफोन
impedances, okay, so it will not match. Simply we have seen in the PM video conferencing site also, we have gone to PM, PM was inaugurating from Jangla village, okay, we have gone to cover that, and our T-pass equipment could not be connected to their amplifier.
Sir, it is not possible, sir. It is not possible, sir. आपका जो माइक्रोफोन
it is not possible. So you have to give one T-pass equipment which has auxiliary input port.
Sir, this
Then only it will be.
Sir, can I explain that again, sir? Sir,
I have explained technically. See that
Yes, sir.
the microphone input port, okay, that is designed for microphone only. Microphone captures the sound and pre-amplifies it and then sends it to that port. And whereas amplifier, what it collects all the these things, desktop instruments, microphones, and combines it, and its output is available at auxiliary output port, which at a different level, which is not comparable to this microphone input jack. Okay, it will always produce distortions. It is basic thing. See, auxiliary output port have 1 volt peak to peak set for that, and 1 volt peak to peak will saturate the microphone input. Microphone input port, you can't have so much voltage, so much peak to peak voltage, 1 volt peak to peak voltage. It must be something less than impedances will also be not matched. So it has to be dedicated auxiliary in. And there are systems which have auxiliary, like one PS system to other PA system. You can connect two amplifiers. Once the output jack port of the first amplifier should be connected to the output auxiliary in port of the second amplifier, like that. So both will be both amplifier will get connected in that way. But you can't connect the auxiliary output port to microphone input anywhere.
Sir,
That is that simple as at all.
ठीक है सर, we took your question sir. Just to brief you sir, ये वाले तीन इनपुट हैं सर, ये वाले तीन इनपुट जो हैं ये माइक्रोफोन के इनपुट हैं, इसमें आप डीएसपी से भी फीड ले सकते हो। जो ये वाला
तीन नहीं है, हमारे यहाँ दो ही हैं
सर, तो नहीं वो SX20 होगा सर, आपका पहले वाला
जो भी होगा, तीन से हमारा काम थोड़ा सा मतलब आसान होता,
हाँ
लेकिन
सर,
यहाँ पर तीन नहीं है, दो ही है।
सर यू कैन रीच आउट टू रियल्टर टीम, दे विल हेल्प यू ऑन दैट। और इसके अंदर सर ऑडियो आउट है सर, ये वाला जो प्रोडक्ट है इसके अंदर आप एम्पलीफायर को कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
वो सब किया हुआ है, जो इशू है वो मैंने केवल बोला है कि हमारा PS सिस्टम का जो है पी एम्पलीफायर, उसका आउटपुट जो है इससे कनेक्ट नहीं होता, और इसको हजारों बार देखा जा चुका है, PM के फंक्शन में देखा जा चुका है। रियल्टर इज विटनेस टू दैट, एंड मतलब कि हम लोग देखे हैं, रियल्टर के लोग करके गए हैं
सर, मैं वही कह रहा हूँ,
फिर निराश होकर के वापस गए हैं। Because see, technical things can't be done through force. You can't just plug into something like that and it will work. It is not like that.
Actually, sir, myself, Adhi Yadav from Lucknow, whatever the Mr. Arya is telling, it is exactly same problem for us, and I think it is the problem of maximum location. We are
Maximum
facing
all
the
locations
big
it will
trouble
be there.
with the integration of the PA system with your codec. And whatever Mr. Arya is telling, normally there should be an auxiliary port which is the more suitable for other audio system, and we have no problem. But in this case, we have touched lot of practice exercise, but even we are always in trouble when the entire PA system is to be connected with the TV.
Sir,
This is not a single problem of single location. I think this is the problem of almost maximum location, I think.
Sir, what system you are using? You have SX20 or Kit Plus, sir?
See,
whatever you are displaying here, this is the exact Kit Plus, WebEx Kit Plus.
So Kit Plus can be integrated with the PA system or a speaker system. Realtel team can help you with that. And sir, Arya sir, जो आपका query था on regarding SX20 does not have the port. So you can reach out to Realtel team if you want any upgradation on the device.
here also you मतलब कि here also it is not there.
Sir, it is there. Sir.
In
We
this
have
system where is one is line out jack and
yes, sir.
3.5 mini jack. What does it mean? I don't know. It
Sir,
should be auxiliary input marked. So
sir,
I can't say what is it and whether it can work or not. I don't know. But
right. So you can reach out to Realtel team.
Input is not marked.
Sir, you can reach out to this Realtel team. They will help you out with that. Sir.
The Realtel team come and go.
Sir, you can reach out
CCSWR here.
Yes, sir.
Any third party solution mixing and giving input to your auxiliary port, you can include that. Third party hardware solution which you can mix and input that.
Yes, sir. We can integrate with third party mixers and amplifiers, sir. So these
Yeah, just you can provide that as an additional accessory where versions are lower or less audio plus video, because I have not been seeing this. Our technicians do it. So just wondering if you can do a solution third party if you are not upgrading inside the box.
Sir, Realtel is managing your complete setup, sir. So, you can reach out to Realtel team. They will definitely help you. Aditya is there on the call from Realtel side. Aditya, do we have any inputs from this regarding the integration with the PA system?
Sir, I have a query regarding this. Generally, the PA system which we have is analog. So, will that be a problem, or we have to shift to a digital PA system?
Analog PA system with mixer. So I'm just reconsidering that it should be a DSP. It should have a DSP. Analog DSPs again work. It is not mandatory that you need to have a digital DSP.
Let me clarify it. The output is always analog. Okay,
Yes.
not digital.
Sir, digital output is also there, sir. In this, you can connect.
Your microphone output is also digital. Okay, everything takes digital only. Sorry, not digital, analog. Sorry
Sir,
for that.
we do support audio over USB as well, which supports
Audio
DSP.
is not digital, sir. The final output which comes out of our speakers and which goes into the speaker also, they are all analog, and we hear analog signals. Our ears are programmed for that, manufactured for that analog signal also. We can't hear the digital signals in terms of digital pulses. Okay. And
Yes, sir.
analog to digital and digital to analog conversion are very basic things. So
Yes,
don't tell, मतलब कि हम लोग आप डराइए मत डिजिटल सिग्नल प्रोसेसर ये सब चीज सब हेवी बहुत हेवी शब्दों से. Okay, we know that digital signal processor are there. Okay, but it is not मतलब कि उसके चलते आप डराएं डिजिटल से और क्या क्या चीजों से. Digital is not a word to threaten or डरा.
Good morning, sir. I am Aditya from Railtel, sir. Sir, as KPRF sir is saying, actually Cisco has 3.5 mm 4-pin jack, and that is not easily available. And many times in SX20, we had to, sometimes in Hyderabad, we have to soldier it from somewhere, and then we got it to work in GMSCR. So yes, issues are there because that is not a very 3.5 mm 4-pin jack is difficult to integrate with.
3-pin or 4-pin. Actually, jack input, audio auxiliary input jack is required.
Yes, sir. That is what, sir. They have a 4-pin one, and normally in market only 3-pin is there.
3-pin and 4-pin both will work.
Yes, sir.
But auxiliary input jack should be there. Okay. There is no, see, matlab ki 3-pin. What is 3-pin? It is only that. See, we will require 4 wires. 2 for this thing, that side, and 2 for incoming. 2 for outgoing, 2 for incoming. You can always connect, combine one wire, two wires of that. That is ground wire. Okay, so it will become 3-pin. Or 3-pin or 4-pin, different conversions there. That doesn't matter. And only thing matters is that we have to match the signal level coming out of the amplifier to the capacity of the this T-pass equipment. That level should be acceptable for that. That level impedance should match. So market also there is no device which can convert auxiliary output to mic input port, which is required here. So,
sir, actually,
I could not find.
Yes, sir. Some workaround has to be done for this. Sir, Anjit sir, we can have a separate call on GMSCR audio issue, and then we can check their set. Again, we can check, and we can check with the new codec also, like in the room, because currently they are having SX20. Now let's check with RoomKit and see.
Unless you have auxiliary input. Okay.
Yes, understood, sir. Understood. We got your point, sir. But
हम लोग 5 सालों से देख रहे हैं ये सब. ठीक है. पीए का जो फंक्शन हुआ था वो 4 साल पहले हुआ था.
हाँ सर.
उसमें हम लोगों ने देखा है बहुत बुरी तरह से.
सर हम लोग भी जैसे रेलवे बोर्ड में 3-4 रूम में हुआ है सर, बट उसमें वो हमें देखना है कि क्या
होता है. बहुत सारे लोग बर्दाश्त करते हैं कि अगर डिस्टॉर्टेड वॉइस भी जा रहा है तब तक मतलब मुझे तो सुनाई समझ में ही नहीं आता है. उन लोगों का हो सकता है कि इतना क्लियर हो कि डिजिटल वॉइस और समझ सके.
सर हमारे पास ऐसे तो जैसे पैनासोनिक पॉलीकॉम भी आपके यहाँ लगा के देख सकते हैं दूसरा इक्विपमेंट.
देखिए यदि आप रेलवे बोर्ड से बोल रहे हैं तो रेलवे बोर्ड के पास 3 माइक इन वाला ये है
है
और वहाँ 3 माइक्रोफोन दिए हुए हैं अलग अलग जगहों पर, तो उन्हीं को सरकार करके काम चला लिया जाता है. 3 पोर्ट वाले हमारे यहाँ भी काम
नहीं सर
करते हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअली 2 पोर्ट है, लेकिन माइक्रोफोन एक ही दिया हुआ है. अगर वो माइक्रोफोन जो है सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ फेलियर है, अगर वो माइक्रोफोन खराब हो गया, उसका वायर ही खराब हो गया, तो एवरीथिंग विल बी बूम बूम लाइक दैट.
जी सर.
सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ फेलियर है मतलब कि दैट इक्विपमेंट. तो सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ फेलियर इक्विपमेंट जो है या पोर्शन है उसको आप लोग खत्म कर रहे हैं। ये इशू तो एक था ऑक्सिलरी इनपुट वाला, और दूसरा इशू ये भी है कि रेलटेल शुड प्रोवाइड 2 or 3 माइक्रोफोन्स, वायर्ड माइक्रोफोन्स देयर।
नहीं सर, नया वाला जो सेटअप आएगा अभी आपको रिप्लेस करेंगे।
अभी के सेटअप में भी
15 मीटर उसकी लेंथ रहता है सर।
अभी के सेटअप में भी 2 माइक्रोफोन का है, वहां आप लगा सकते हैं 2 माइक्रोफोन।
जी सर।
डायरेक्ट एंड हुए तो वो मतलब लिंक को भी डिस्कनेक्ट करके फिर से डालना पड़ेगा तीनों को।
And
CCHWR again. Our concern was similar. CCHWR here. Our concern was similar. Now not audio but video. Like, can there be a voice tracking type of camera and with a little augmentation or addition to the existing system? Can we have that? Streaming on the other side of four, five locations in the conference room. We wanted that system, and we already placed a request. We don't know what is the hardware solution.
2 options are there, sir, in this case. One is Cisco has this new box cameras in which multiple cameras are there, but zoom is less in that. So that comes with the in-box voice activation system. Otherwise, we have this speaker track 60. So in that a set of 2 similar cameras are there, and they sit on the top of the codec and they do the voice tracking. So these 2 options are there, sir, but it has to be purchased again for you.
Somebody study our this requirement and send one copy to Railtel also. Us.
I'm from Railtel, sir.
We are trying to hire that. It is all hiring, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So they have to buy and we have to hire.
From Railtel, I have to make one statement. Like in PM functions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In PM functions, we are not allowed to go very near to the dials.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in that case, whatever magnification you have in this camera is not sufficient.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
12x is there.
So it was there in PM function when I attended 4 or 5 years ago. So still then I wrote a letter like this. I don't know whether
sir, actually the latest Cisco what has released, it is not 20x, sir. That latest codec that has come in the market that we will buy now, so that is around 20x, sir. That should be sufficient.
That has about 240x zoom, sir. So 20x
optical zoom is there. We are talking about optical zoom only, sir. Otherwise, it will again get distorted.
In that PM function we face the problem.
Yes,
so we have whenever PM function or something similar to is that there, then you should send some equipments which have higher magnification. This magnification, whatever you do have is not sufficient for that. You have to capture it from a distance.
Yes, sir.
मैं करना है यहाँ से।
Anji sir, we have to take one call again for the audio issues at SECR.
No, not call. You have to.
Yes, sir. We have to find a solution.
Okay. We are not interested in this video conferencing or something like that. We are interested in the solutions.
Understood.
Like that.
Understood.
Okay.
Yes.
So please provide the solutions.
Yes.
Thank you, and I would like to move out from this.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, Aditya sir,
so sir, these are the 2 cameras. So in the current procurement, what we'll have is the new camera, which is PTZ 4K camera. So this is the latest camera that is available from Cisco. So this has about 240x zoom, out of which 20x is optical zoom and 12x is digital zoom. So you can have capture the participants from a good distance. So and you have the clarity. Also the touch panel. So the touch panel that is there now, that is replaced by Room Navigator. So Room Navigator has a similar functionality what was there in the earlier touch panel. The good part is that with this with this touch panel, you also get additional informations in the room temperature or the room quality index, room air quality index. All those information is also available on the touch panel itself. Now, moving ahead, Aviram, can you show the connectivity diagram? Yeah, so this is basically the backplane of the codec, where there are multiple inputs and outputs, and you need to connect various devices. So if you see the leftmost part, that is basically a switch, on-off switch that is there. So just ensure that the switch is on, and once the power is connected. Second is the power port. You get an additional 12-volt power adapter, which gets connected to this power port. Then you have three Ethernet ports, three network ports. So the first port will go to the touch panel directly. So touch panel, I can see there are multiple queries on the touch panel. So we by default we provide 8 meters Ethernet cable for touch panel integration. However, because it's a standard Ethernet cable, you can extend it to about 10 to 20 meters as well. In case you want to extend it further, there is an additional power adapter that is required with the touch panel, and you will be able to connect it up to 20-30 meters as well. So that additional power adapter has to be bought separately. The second Ethernet port is on the for the network, which has to be connected on your Railtel or Railways network, where you get the IP address, where you give the IP address to, from where you give the IP address to the device. Third, Ethernet is for the camera control. So this goes to the camera. So camera has an RJ45 port which actually does helps you in software upgradation, controlling the cameras. You can do left, right, up, down, etc. So all those controls and everything is provided by this Ethernet cable. So it's again a standard RJ45 Ethernet cable, and which gets connected to the camera. So by default, it is again. You get it for 3 to 5 meters from Cisco. You can, if you want, you can extend it to 10 to 12 meters as per your requirement. Then we have an HDMI port. There are 5 HDMI ports that are there. The first port is basically to connect the camera. So the primary camera which is there is connected on the first port. So the cable that you get from Cisco is about 3 meters by default. In case you want more, so you need to buy it separately, or Railtel can help you with that. Then we have two additional HDMI ports. So two additional HDMI ports, they are either meant to connect additional cameras or a laptop or a PC. Now the second HDMI port, you can have a second camera. If you have a big room, you want to connect multiple cameras, so that second camera can be connected on this HDMI cable. And then we have the third port, third input port, where you can connect your laptop or PC for the presentation sharing. Again, presentation sharing cable is again a standard HDMI cable. By default, that is provided by Cisco is 8 meters in length, that we showed during the video. And so that can be connected to the laptop. Then we have two HDMI outputs. So the next two ports are HDMI outputs. So if you see, there is an indication on the device backplane itself that you need to connect a display, or there's an input port or output port. So input is if there is an arrow going inside the circle, that is basically an input port. If there's an arrow going out of the circle, that is an output port. So you see there are two displays, 1 and 2. The sort of primary display, if you have only one display, just connect the display on the port 1. If you have two displays, connect the display on port 2. Then we have two USB ports. These are basically for future use, not for use at your end. Then we have 3 microphone ports. So you can connect up to 3 microphones, Cisco microphones directly, or you can also integrate with external DSP on these ports itself. And then we have the fourth port, 3.5 jack port, which is for the loudspeaker. If you want to integrate with your amplifier or external speakers, you can connect on this line out port. Now, we had multiple queries during the discussion that we cannot directly the PA system or amplifier cannot be connected. Yes, that is true, that directly PA system or amplifier cannot be connected because it will give an echo sound, because they are not meant, the basic amplifiers are not meant for video conferencing. They are only meant for लोकल रेनफोर्समेंट कि आपकी आवाज जो है खुद के स्पीकर्स में, आपके बड़े हॉल है कुछ या बड़ा रूम है तो उसके अंदर आए. So for that, to make it work with video conferencing, there is a digital signal processor required, which actually integrates the PA system and the microphone system together and manages the echo part, ताकि आपका local echo ना आए. So we can connect the DSP to these input microphone port or the line out ports. So that is supported by Kit Plus as well as other products which are available with Cisco. So we can again, if you have some query, we can Realtel work with Realtel and we can help with it. But connecting with PA system, that is definitely possible with this codec. Next slide, Abhiram. Yeah, so this is the camera. So if, in the diagram, what we see is the PTZ 4K, the new camera. Even if you have the old camera like P60 or PTZ 12, it will have the similar ports there. So on the camera backplane, we have one HDMI port that gets connected to the camera port of the codec. We have an RJ45 port, which again gets connected directly to the codec camera port, which is Ethernet port. And there's one external power supply which is connected to this camera. So this is only the power supply has to be connected only in case of PTZ 4K and PTZ 12 cameras. However, if you have the old SX20 model, then there's no additional power supply required. Next slide, Abhiram. Yeah, so that is on the backplane of the codec and everything. So any other queries, sir, you have at your end to the codec on the functionality? So one is obviously the PA system integration that will work with Realtel and we'll get that sorted out. And any other query related to the functionality of the codec, what are the steps that need to be taken and all those stuff?
There are questions on the chat also. We can take them.
So I already addressed. I think there are related to the LAN cable and all those things. I've already mentioned that the touch panel cable by default that we get is 8 meters. However, we can extend it further up to 15 meters without any external power adapter. But if you want more than 15 meters, then there is an external power adapter that is required. And I think that was a major query there.
Anjit, I have a query regarding this jitter and the packet loss that we can have. What is the maximum tolerance that you have built?
Sir, it all depends on how much jitter and packet loss is there. So what is recommended is it should be the packet loss should be less than 2% and the jitter should be around less than 100 millisecond. That is the best part. However, it can because we have built in the tolerance between the codec and the MCU. So if even if it is more than 2%, we still be able to handle, but there are multiple circumstances which are to be taken care. But if you talk about the minimum and for good quality, it should be less than 1% and less than 100 millisecond.
Okay, so it's 100 milliseconds and 2%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The tolerance limit must be different for audio and video, or is it the same?
Sir, it's same for both, sir.
Same for both.
And latency also?
Latency should be less than 200 milliseconds. That is
but we see that above 150 it is not completely collapsed.
So if there is a latency beyond 200 milliseconds, there is a packet loss. Obviously, will lead to distortion. If all the three things come together, then there will be a distortion.
In case of there is some issue in the VC and we want to do a post-mortem, the event log, does it tell the endpoint problem or the network problem we are able to understand if we are seeing from the VC ends, VC terminals and not the LAN related issues? Is it able to give us the event log of that whether it was network or the endpoint problem?
So, sir, if there is any video distortion, so that is 99% related to network only. So what you can do is if you are in the live call, if you are facing some distortion, you can just go to the call information tab and you will see the packet loss and jitter, whatever is there. If it is related to the video endpoint, so more of the concerns that are related to video endpoint, if something works or not works. For example, camera is not working, mic is not working, touch panel is not working. So that is more related to the hardware problem. But if you are facing a bad quality, it's more of a network perspective.
More, sir is more. I think he wants to know about the history. How if there was a packet loss at certain point of time, can we go back and in the
Yes,
logs and
so
get?
the logs are kept in the system. So as per recommendations, sir, the devices are you should not shut down the device abruptly. For example, if you shut down the device, then there is no log saved in the codec, so we cannot pull out the history. So it is recommended that either one you keep the system up and running for n number of days, because they are capable of all the heat, and there's no issue in that. You can keep it running for 24/7, so that whenever the Realtor team is working on it, they can pull out the logs and they can share it with them. But if you shut down the device abruptly, just power off the device, then all logs are lost from the system.
Especially after an issue, we should not power it off.
Yes,
So
yes.
that
If you face an issue and you
logs are preserved.
so if you have faced the issue, don't shut down the device abruptly. Just reach out to the Realtor team. They will take all the necessary logs, and then we can work with the backend system team to get the information that what was the issue during the conference. Was it a network issue? What is the device issue, or whatever?
Sir, actually, many times what happens that we have to recreate the issue. So, because they will certain logs are not enabled or certain find traces are not enabled. So many times we have to again sit and we have to recreate issue, and sometimes it occurs, sometimes it doesn't occur. So that is a problem actually, that we cannot enable all the logs all the time, because that will again hamper the system. And again, what the normal logs are there, they are able to capture certain information, but to again, many times we have to recreate the issue. So that is a challenge actually. What logs should be enabled, whether it should be enabled all the time. Extended logging, again, if you talk about in Codec, extended logging, it gets disabled on its own after 5-10 minutes. So those challenges are there. So.
Right, sir. Any other queries, sir, you have regarding the VC setup?
We are having in Hubli a separate architecture, not one advised by board. So just I'll get back. The other day they were telling we are having a better one, but I just want that they should not conflict either in the DMZ or anything what they are implementing. They are having one router and two routers. Okay, they are having two routers and some connectivity. So just I will share that with our Secunderabad, and they can get back to us.
Sir, that architecture, sir, Dharmen Singh over here, sir, that architecture was discussed in CC's VC also. And in that it was discussed if we can do away with R1, R1, R2 routers that are rail-net routers, then it's fine. Means the feasibility should be there, means to do away with those routers. So that was discussed, and accordingly we had issued one more letter, and we had okayed that architecture in consultation with Realtel.
It is okay. It is okay.
Sir, we had suggested that redundancy should be there. I think in your architecture, whatever was present in that redundancy was not there. That redundant paths have to be provisioned. The connectivity should come from two routers, from two routers of Realtel, M1,
M2, yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So that needs to be provisioned, sir. I think on that you should work.
So if there are no further queries, we can end the call now. Dharmendra sir, we'll share the recording of this meeting and also
and the PPT also.
Yes, so there are many queries on the PPT. We'll share the slides.
We can have one session again, PA system, especially we can.
Yes, so Aditya, we'll discuss with you, and we'll
especially wherever
we can have actually these problems, whatever what I raised in this VC, lot of railways are facing. So integration of PA system, because most of the time it is like that.
Yes.
These V systems are installed in the conference rooms and other places. So over there, this integration has to be done. So we
Right,
can
sir.
have a session on that.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir.
Yes.
We'll end this call right now, sir, and Dharmendra sir will share the links for the recording and the presentation as well.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks Cisco team. Thank Anjit. Thanks to your team for giving it a wonderful insight into the VC operating system. And thanks to Deltel team also.
Thank you, sir.
And I thanks the participants also who have actually I believe that this session might have been very helpful to them, and they will utilize this opportunity to bring about changes that we need in the VC missions. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Cisco conversation.